Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and to a sort of like what I eat in a week. It's 5 nights of vegan dinners, and this is pretty typical of meals that I make on a regular basis. So let's just get started with some delicious, healthy, and easy to make veggie pasta. I'm starting off by sauteing some onions and some garlic, and I'm going to be sauteing these with water. I've been trying to reduce the amount of oil I cook with lately, so if you're into oil-free cooking, make sure you stick around for more recipes and hit that subscribe button down below and also the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. I also added some mushrooms and some red and green bell peppers, kind of a classic combination. So while that was cooking, I boiled up some of this red lentil gluten-free pasta that I got from Trader Joe's. It's pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of gluten-free pasta, but this is a good one and a lot cheaper than most other brands. I also added some broccoli to my veggies and some of this Greek seasoning. This is a recipe I have. It's sort of a bonus recipe in my free ebook, which I will link in the description box below. It is 5+ easy vegan recipes that I really do make all the time, and they're perfect for people on the go or who just don't want to spend a lot of time cooking. So check that out and let's get back to the recipe. So as you probably saw, I added some store-bought pasta sauce, whatever kind you like. I prefer organic. And then I added the pasta to that and just stirred it all together, added a little bit of parsley and some nutritional yeast, mixed that in, and it was good to go. So I also sprinkled on some of this vegan Parmesan cheese alternative. It's from Thrive Market. No, this is not a sponsored video. I was just trying out some of their products. And this one, although it has the same sort of texture as that more powdery type of Parmesan cheese you would get at a cheap restaurant, it's not nearly as good as like the Violife or the Follow Your Heart brands. Those are really my favorite, but I didn't have any this night, so oh well. Tuesday, we decided to do some grilling outside because the weather was really nice, and I got some corn on sale, so I'm soaking that in some water, and I'll tell you why a little later. And then I cut up some veggies to make some tofu kebabs. I have some tofu that I'm going to marinate in this Korean style barbecue sauce from Trader Joe's. I love this stuff. It was so good. So I did press my tofu first, which I'm not showing here, but if you want to see how to do that, I will link some other videos down below where I do press the tofu. It's pretty easy. Basically, you just want to get some of the excess moisture out because it cooks up better and it soaks up more of the marinade, and we definitely want that. So I'm just using some barbecue skewers, and I am adding my tofu and veggies, alternating. I've got mushrooms and onions and 3 different colors of bell peppers. I do like to add either the onion or the mushroom next to the tofu because I feel like it kind of flavors it a little bit, but you can do whatever you want. This one's got a nice Rasta kind of vibe going on, which I really like. So I just put those in a large baking dish and started pouring some of the Korean BBQ sauce over them. Of course, you could use whatever kind of barbecue sauce you want, and I actually made these last night again, and I used hoisin sauce. So whatever you have around, even if you just have like some tamari, maybe you can mix it up with some maple syrup, make it a little bit sweet, and just marinate those skewers for a little while. If you want to put them in the fridge first and let them really soak up those flavors, that's great, but I just let them sit for a few minutes, and then I spread some of that delicious sauce on there while they're cooking. There's my doggy. So yeah, I just keep basting those, and when I turned them over, I basted them again. I'm just kind of using up the last of the sauce that I had. And you'll see that I have some corn in the back there with the husks on. And I showed you that I was soaking them earlier. So the reason I do that is because it gets those husks nice and moist, and that keeps them from burning. And it also sort of steams them up inside, pre-cooks them. And then we're gonna take the husks off and we're gonna put them back in there to get a nice char on them and continue cooking them the rest of the way. It's really delicious. So while all that was cooking, I decided to make a fruit salad out of a bunch of leftover fruit I had. So this is banana, melon, kiwi, strawberries, grapes, and some mint from my garden. And there is my finished plate, a super easy and delicious vegan barbecue dinner. I started this next really simple recipe by steaming some potatoes in my Instant Pot. I use this so much, but if you don't have an Instant Pot, you can also just use a regular pot, and it really does help to have one of these little steamers. So I set those aside because I'm going to use the Instant Pot again to steam my broccoli. Can you believe that this broccoli is from my garden? I couldn't believe it myself. I've been trying for years to grow broccoli that looks like this. I mean, this was just beautiful, perfect broccoli. My broccoli usually comes out like broccolini for some reason, but I had an amazing broccoli crop this year. So this was the first harvest, and I cut it up into pieces and decided to steam it in the Instant Pot. But I am still trying to figure out the right steaming temperature for the Instant Pot. And I have to admit that these did steam a little longer than I would have liked. I mean, it was still really good, but not as crisp and fresh as I had hoped for. I'm also just opening up a can of vegetarian baked beans. These Bush's baked beans are vegan, and they're really good, and they're fat-free. Sure, they have some sugar in them, but they're baked beans. And then I also decided to air fry up some of these meatless crispy tenders. You know, they're kind of like chicken tenders. And they're so easy to heat up in the air fryer, and they get nice and crispy. And they just went really well with this meal. I'm going to put some chives in my mashed potatoes. It is so good. And of course, these are fresh from my garden. I just went right outside and picked them. I've had so many delicious herbs and things in my garden. I'm just so excited about my garden this year. And I am just cutting up these potatoes before I mash them, just to make it a little easier to mash. These are Yukon Gold potatoes, which are my favorite, and I leave the skins on, but you don't have to. They peel off easily after they've been steamed. And then I added a couple of tablespoons of vegan butter and a healthy dose of garlic powder. I also added some of this umami mushroom seasoning from Trader Joe's. I love this stuff. And to give it a little extra garlicky flavor plus some salt, I am adding this garlic sea salt. Next is just a little bit of plant-based milk. I'm really not measuring any of this, I'm just throwing it in there as I go. And just mash that in. You can see they're starting to get nice and creamy. And then I added those fresh chopped chives. So there is my final plate, and I'm sorry it's a little dark, but it was dinner time, so it was getting dark. And I'm just adding some maple mustard dressing on my broccoli. That is another bonus recipe in my free ebook, so please check that out. And we've also got those delicious garlicky mashed potatoes. I'm telling you guys, this really did come out so good. And those super easy, couldn't be any easier baked beans. and some crispy meatless tenders that I heated up in the air fryer. This meal could not be any easier. So good, so healthy, and so easy. I hope you liked this video and that maybe it gave you some inspiration to make some delicious vegan dinners this week. Before you go, hit that subscribe button and also give this video a like and leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite vegan dinner is. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.